In our feature segment today, High Tunnels. It is a production system that delivers better quality produce, higher yields, and an extended growing season in both the spring and fall. Farmweek visited 2 producers using the technology in East Central Mississippi, one who's just getting started and another who is a seasoned veteran. This story first aired on Farmweek last fall.
This comes in a lot earlier. We picked our first tomato April the 28th, I believe. The first ripe one, not the first green one, the first ripe one. And they are really beginning to come in now.
For fruit and vegetable producer Barbara Robinson, using high tunnels or hoop houses to grow her crops in East Central Mississippi makes perfect sense. The simple structures improve the profitability of her farm.
The earlier you get into the market, whether it's blueberries or vegetables, the better price you're going to get for it.
Robinson has 3 high tunnels on her farm in Quitman and is one of the more experienced producers in the state as far as this technology. Extension Area Horticulture Agent Wayne Porter and USDA NRCS personnel have used Robinson's farm to explain the benefits of high tunnel production to others.
Well, I think there is a possibility of people improving their cash flow and things like that by getting these crops out earlier in the year. We're looking right now, tomatoes probably a month earlier than the local producer, so you get a premium price.
Harvest is earlier because planting is earlier when using a high tunnel. The plastic-covered structures use the energy of the sun to warm the soil and the air inside, so crops can grow when it would be too cold on the outside in a typical field for production. Wayne Porter estimates producers can probably get a 50 cents per pound price advantage for having something early to a market using a high tunnel. Conversely, this technology also affords growers the opportunity to extend the growing season the other direction as well. A producer is able to grow fresh vegetables late into the fall and be paid a good price when they're ready to sell. However, Barbara Robinson found out there is a temperature limit for tunnel production when it's well below freezing.
I've grown vegetables, planted them in the fall. The first ones I planted, the tomatoes, I had them to the temperature went down to 18 degrees. And when it went down to 18, I lost them. And that was in December of 10.
Just outside Meridian in Lauderdale County, producer Danny Daniels put up his first high tunnel in February 2012 and filled it with 240 tomato plants. This farm was used by Extension and NRCS for outreach meetings to explain high tunnels in 2012 and 2013. Daniels says just having the structure in view in his community improved his business.
It's been a lot of people interested in it, and they know I'm going to have tomatoes now. Used to, they couldn't see about the field.
Daniels planted the Bush Early Girl and Celebrity tomato varieties in his tunnel. As he told these visitors to his operation, there are adjustments when shifting to tunnel production from a traditional outdoor field setting. For example, variety selection is based on the need to give a sequence in ripening.
It's a learning process, and I've learned it since this is my first year with high tunnel, and so far it's working out real well.
Back in Quitman, Barbara Robinson planted Applause, Bush Early Girl, and Amelia varieties of tomatoes in her tunnels early in the year. She says the Bush Early Girl is supposed to mature in 52 to 54 days. In addition to tomatoes, Barbara Robinson also has cucumbers and a host of other vegetables growing in the high tunnels. Again, the tunnels provide early maturity on all crops.
She started harvesting bell peppers, hot pepper, eggplant in the last week of April, which is in a normal growing season, we'd be looking sometime in mid-June on these crops.
Robinson had never grown vegetables, only fruit such as blueberries, muscadines, and figs before she got her first high tunnel. She bought that first tunnel used from someone in Verona and hauled it down to East Central Mississippi on a cattle trailer.
So I brought it back, and my grandsons and I erected it. Did not get the plastic tight enough, and a very heavy rain pulled it down in the center. So we had to go back up with it.
It was the spring of 2010 when Robinson planted her first crops in a high tunnel. The outer covering of these structures is typically a single layer of greenhouse-grade 4 to 6 mil polyethylene plastic. The frame is usually steel, but could be PVC pipe. A high tunnel is typically 30 feet wide, but its length can vary from 30 or 40 feet to over 100 feet. There are many sources for high tunnel building materials. It can be a do-it-yourself project from the ground up. You can also order a kit, or you can hire someone to bring in the materials and handle all the construction. Cost share programs are available too. Both Barbara Robinson and Danny Daniels took advantage of financial assistance available through the USDA Natural Resources Conservation Service and EQIP to set up some of their production.
With the individual farmers today, we were able to cost share with the seasonal high tunnel, as well as the irrigation system to irrigate the produce inside the seasonal high tunnel.
Even without a cost share, though, I think you could pay off one of these tunnels in a 3-year period without too much effort.
Usually, the only external utility connection to a high tunnel is a drip irrigation system. The fact that it cannot rain inside the tunnel is a plus. Less moisture on the foliage means less chance for disease. This also reduces weed problems. There is no automated heating or cooling system. It's all done manually. Cooling is achieved by rolling up the plastic on the sides and ends of the tunnel. Heating is achieved by keeping the plastic down on all sides, naturally trapping solar heat during the daytime and keeping it in through the night.
The number one crop is tomatoes because that's a good high dollar crop. But if you got tomatoes, when you go to sell, you can sell other produce. Ms. Robinson here has the eggplants and the various kinds of peppers and some squashes. So, you know, the idea is sell something that anybody wants.
It's a formula that's working for Barbara Robinson as well as Danny Daniels and other producers. From East Central Mississippi, I'm Leighton Spann reporting. You can watch this feature story again on high tunnels at our Farm Week website, the Facebook page, or on YouTube. The Mississippi State University Extension Service has a special portion of its website set apart with a lot of information on high tunnels. We'll also have that link on the website and our Facebook fan page. That's farmweek.msucares.com. And artist Barbara Robinson told me that she's hoping to pick up her plants February 15th and begin putting them in the tunnel shortly thereafter.
It really does work.